The following production is intended for entertainment purposes only. We are not legal professionals. We do not speak for any government agency, and the opinions expressed here are our own. Relax.
We went to NAS Pensacola Naval Air Station, Pensacola today. Met up with some other cousins of mine that I hadn't seen since I was a young, like I don't remember ever meeting them, but they're like, last time I saw you, you were a baby. They moved from Oklahoma down to Pensacola, fortunately, and went to the Naval Air Aviation Museum. And dude, if you're in when you're in town, because you'll come here to visit
Yep.
eventually, we are making that trip. It is so worth it. It's about an hour from my house.
Okay.
The aviation museum is, and it's just to the T. Like everything's to the nines. You walk in, and it's free. You can donate if you want. But you walk in, you walk past these very well preserved. There, when you come in the parking lot, there's an F-16. These are all actual naval retired aircraft too. Like these fought, in whatever. These were in the Navy's
Okay.
inventory. You come into the parking lot and there's an F-16 on display, and most people will say that an F-16 isn't a Navy aircraft because it is primarily Air Force aircraft. F-16s can't go on an aircraft carrier because they're so light and fragile, and it's why it makes them good fighters. But the catapult that launches F-18s off the front of an aircraft carrier would actually stress and maybe break the frame of an F-16. So
Oh, wow.
an F-16 can't take off of an aircraft carrier, but the Navy used them for electronic warfare squadrons back in the day. I think they've all been retired. But you come in the parking lot, there's an F-16. When you're going through when you're walking up to the doors, there's an anchor of a World War II aircraft carrier. I think it was from the USS Essex, but it's giant. It's the size of a house. And then when you're going up to the doors, you walk underneath at a Tomcat, an F-14 Tomcat. It's got like all the missiles and bombs on it. It's turned to the
Yeah.
side. It's just spectacular.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
It's a kind of a hands-on museum. There's a lot of the exhibits you can go up and touch. Like I was walking underneath the F-18 showing Cash where because me and his mom both used to load bombs on there. I'm like, look, here's a bomb station unit. This one has 6. That one, it was pretty neat.
Yeah. I was going to tell you, I was at Casey's the other day getting gas, and I saw a dude. I almost had a moment.
Yeah.
And I couldn't quite tell what it said, but his shirt, without a doubt, said Riverine on it.
Oh, really? I know a guy who lives there.
Oh, really? Because
Yeah.
I wanted to be like, hey, I know. Were you a Riverine? Like I know a guy, but I gotta figure that's the equivalent of saying my nephew's a
My
deputy
nephew
in
was in the Navy.
Kansas. Do you know him? Like,
That's funny.
is that? I mean, that's got to be a pretty, because I'd never heard of it until I met
It's a
you.
it's a
Is that
very small community.
okay? So I mean, what are the odds that?
Well, something's happening with my headphones. It's all good. There were only 3 active Riverine squadrons, and 2 of them were at Little Creek, and the other one was at Portsmouth. No, not Portsmouth, Yorktown, Naval Munition Station, Yorktown. Those were their only 3, and I was in Riverine Squadron 2. Riverine Squadron 1 and 2 definitely deployed the most. Riverine Squadron 3 had a bunch of deployments, but
How big is a squadron?
it has 3 debts. A det had about 90 people in it. So det is a detachment. It had 3 detachments. Detachment had about 90 people, and 90 to 100. And there was about that in command staff, and command staff was your admin and your corpsman and all your supply guys. There was about 100 people in the command staff, and there was, like I said, 3 detachments in each squadron. There was also a maintenance kind of command that was in charge of like the depot level maintenance. That's getting into the weeds. But if it's especially if it's who I'm think it is, because there is a Riverine that's still is out in Wichita. He was in Riverine Squadron 1.
Okay.
And I met him. I'm not going to say his name on here, but I met him the first time when I was going to school at Wichita State, right when I got out of the Navy. And he was wearing a Riverine shirt. And I was like, hey, dude, where'd you get that shirt? And I could tell like he instantly regretted wearing the shirt. He's like, He was like, it was a little thing. Well, and like tried to dismiss it. And I was like, I was in Riverine Squadron 2. And he's like, oh, what? And so we immediately had rapport. We started talking. We were in the same time. The next time I saw that specific guy, I was working at the front desk of the jail in the lobby. I was working in the lobby at the jail, and he owned a construction business. And he came in and was like, hey, do you have this guy? And I'm like, I can say his name's John. I'm like, John, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, hey, what's up, dude? And we started like putting the dots together again. He was like, oh, one of my workers is in here. He just got arrested on DUI, and he told me to come in here and pick him up. So that's why I'm here. I'm like, oh. But yeah, he still stomps around there. And he's kind of a shorter guy, a little bit shorter than me, stocky, tatted up. Like,
I remember he was a little bit stocky, and I honestly didn't really, the thing that caught my eye is because I was kind of like, I was on my way out, and I was like, wait a second, that's kind of putting it together. I said Riverine. Would you maybe you wouldn't know everybody on like on a first name basis, but you would have seen everyone in your squadron?
definitely everyone in my squadron. I don't know everyone. I want to know a lot of guys that were in Riverine Squadron 1 because we kind of shared a parking lot, or our commands were next to each other. I know a lot of the Riverine Squadron 3 guys, but not as much as the 1. Definitely everyone in 2 knows me.
Well, so was it only active? The program was only active during a certain time period?
Yeah. Yeah. So the Riverine squadrons that I knew, because there's a couple iterations, it's like depends on what you call Riverine. The Riverines that I knew existed from I think 2006 to 2013. Technically 2015 and 16 and on a little bit, but those were the years. 6 to 13 was when it was during a surge period in Iraq, and we realized we needed to control the Tigris and the Euphrates better. The Marines already had a squadron, but they were putting more of their attention toward infantry, like frontline stuff. So they got rid of their boats. The Navy took over the program. Yeah, those were the years 6 to 13.
Gotcha. Well, if I ever see that dude again, I'll accost him and I'll be like, hey, how'd you earn that shirt?
That's right. Might be a family member.
Look here's something you can do when you get bigger. You can make your ears.
He's sticking his finger through his ear.
But they will hurt.
Oh boy.
They'll hurt when we get it.
Yeah, but that's all right. A little bit of pain's good for you.
Here, let me see this. I'm gonna ask him a question. Careful.
But the pain is good for you.
Okay, let me ask you. I know I've asked you this before. Can't you just take like a regular pierced ear and stretch it into a gauge?
Yeah, for sure.
Is there also an option where they do like a hole punch in the ear?
That's basically what I started with.
Woo wait.
Did I
Yeah,
do that?
I started. Oh, dude, I
They
forgot
do
to
that?
tell you. I
Daddy,
pierced.
they do that?
Yeah, they did the hole punch. He did his with the hole punch in his ear.
Punched it?
No, like where it
Big
cuts
hole.
out a circle of meat.
I
Ate the meat?
No.
But then they put it.
In the trash can or with bio waste, hopefully.
Hopefully not. Hopefully they didn't send it to a restaurant.
Here, give me a
That's-
hug and you need
that's
to go
what hot
inside.
dogs are made of.
Justin said that's what hot dogs are made out of. Yeah, cute. Good night. Okay.
I pierced one of Margaret's friends' septums the other day.
Excuse me?
Yeah, dude.
And what is the septum again? Is that this?
I don't think you have to be licensed. I don't think there's any laws against that. So
Yeah.
maybe I
Yeah.
did. Maybe I did. Maybe this is just a comedy show. But Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the below the.
Ooh, how'd you do that?
Well, I'll be honest. I think it's a little crooked. Um, but I mean, I wasn't planning on doing it. I was just there, and so
Uh-huh.
Margaret was like, "Hey, Dad, come here real quick." So I went in, and like he was trying to do it, but he was kind of nervous.
Whew.
So I just kind of put my hand on his shoulder, and I was like, "Okay, here we go." Boom! And so at first, like I was surprised. I wasn't prepared for like the initial,
Pop.
well, for the pressure. I didn't know how much pressure it was going to take to get through the skin.
Oh, did
Uh,
you have to like put your shoulder into it?
well, I was surprised, like let it go. Well, when I did that, it kind of went up, you
Mm.
know. So,
Did it get through
so
the nostril? Did you accidentally, is it like,
uh, yeah, bro. So, I mean, I'm basically a piercer now.
nice.
Um, whatever.
Well,
Yeah,
well, that's good. So I don't know if you got the sheet or not that I sent you, but that's fine.
I did.
There's a couple of headlines that's been going on. I wonder if you've seen them. Did you hear of Putin and Trump meeting in Alaska? Did you see that that happened?
Man, I've been seeing videos, and I haven't read any of the articles. I'll just
Oh,
give you that.
okay.
But they look pretty friendly. They look
Yeah.
like old pals.
Did you see the flyover that happened
I did see
whenever?
that. I did see that. That was pretty cool.
Isn't that wild to
That's
think of that?
that seems like a that seems like a very Trump thing to do.
Such a Trump thing to do.
Maybe everybody does it. I don't know. But
You
it's
can
just like, oh, hold on a second, Vlad. I can't hear you. Hang on a sec. Do you hear that?
wait for the B-2s and the F-35s to
Yeah.
fly over. Now,
You
what
were
were you
saying exactly.
Putin jumped on it. Like Putin, you can tell he wasn't planning it because when that happened, Putin went, oh, and like looked to the side. And
Now,
even Trump like elbowed him afterwards, like, I'm just fucking with you, big dog.
but what does that do to somebody like for you and I, at a football game, we're like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. But like what kind of message does that convey to a major world power?
The kind that I like to send. Like,
Yeah.
just so you know, you're messing with the top dog still. I know you thought you were big over there, but welcome to
Is
America.
I mean, is that like obviously it's a show of force. Does that have a desired effect, you think, or is that really just for
I mean, what are the
showmanship?
optics? What are the optics are?
I mean,
is like, hey, don't forget, Vlad.
that is those are the optics. Like, but is it just for show?
I think, well, there's always, I think Trump is speaking his language because Vlad is a tough man. You know what I mean? He's the big guy. That's what he likes to portray as himself as, yeah, as the tough guy. And Trump is just trying to speak his language. And I think that is kind of Trump's language too. Like you can imagine him starting off a board meeting like, hey, just so everyone knows, I increased my percentage by 40%. And now we can continue this meeting that has absolutely, like, he's just wanting to flex, like starting off this, like, hey, just so you know, I'm the biggest, I'm the best. Let's carry on.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. So what was the purpose of the meeting?
So, the purpose of this meeting, don't let me forget, I wanted to say I heard that Vlad was actually a body double. The Vlad that came to Alaska wasn't the real Vlad.
Okay. I've heard that before.
Yeah, he's been caught doing that before.
Oh.
But the purpose of this meeting was like a preemptive meeting to it's the aim is, of course, ceasefire in Ukraine. Like the aim is the end of the war in Ukraine. He the stated goals of this, I can't remember exactly, but it was basically to come to terms. Trump wanted to meet with Putin to come to terms that then Putin can, or that Trump can take, or maybe someone in Trump's staff can take to Zelensky and be like, hey, me and Trump talk. Do we think these are good ones? Now, what do you think? And Trump's trying to be the negotiator. He's trying to win that Nobel Prize. that Nobel Peace Prize that Benjamin Netanyahu nominated him for.
Yeah.
The shining example
He
of
should be.
peace
I mean,
himself.
he should be able to get that done, I would think.
Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty wild. Vlad coming in there and Trump flying the B-2s. I was listening to the President's Daily Brief today, and which is Mike Baker, a former, I think, like higher mid-level rank. He was a CIA guy, but now he has this news brief that he does on a podcast every day, President's Daily Brief. It's pretty good. Go check it out. He's obviously a conservative guy, so like just so you know, there's that stance in it. But I'd say he's pretty objective or subjective, whatever it is that you're supposed to be. He's open-minded.
He's the right one.
He's the right one. He had a Russia expert on, an American author who I think came from somewhere in the Department of Intelligence, or came from somewhere in intelligence that's written books on it. I was listening to it today. Putin has been like caught before, or like the people have noticed the body double that shows up, that Putin sends out these body doubles, like not the right height. There's facial features. There was
close enough.
This one news agency, I want to say it was either Switzerland or Sweden, I can't remember, but it was one of them, came out with this article that said facial recognition detected that was not Putin. Like the airport facial recognition said that's not him.
Okay.
And like it was off on the height compared to Trump. He should have been like the height was wrong, the shoulders were wrong, and the facial recognition, that wasn't him. But that doesn't mean that the mission or that the meeting was pointless.
What do you mean?
Well, so because another thing they said was that Putin's like a big germaphobe and he's constantly afraid of being assassinated. Like there's been multiple assassination attempts on him. And I mean, Trump flew a B-2 over the guy's head whenever he got here. So, I mean, so maybe with good reason. But if the body double came here to negotiate with Trump, like obviously you don't want to send just some idiot. You don't want to send some handsome idiot out there to negotiate for you. Like, hey, talk about this. These are our goals. And by all accounts, there is an article on it from The Guardian that said basically nothing was really accomplished. Like there was no ceasefire agreement, but Trump agreed to basically back off any of the sanctions that he already imposed, but all the ones that were there before he took office, meaning like all the ones up to January 20th, 25, are still in place, but all the extra ones that he's put on since then have been backed off. And there's no
for
Russia.
What?
So these are like these primarily affect their economy. Like import tariffs and whatnot, and sanctions on who you're allowed to trade with and who you're not. That's the whole purpose of the I don't know if you've heard of that secret black oil fleet that Russia is supposed to have. I don't know if you've heard of that or not. It's a bunch of like unnumbered ships, and every ship is supposed to be registered, with international agencies. These are a bunch of like unnumbered, unregistered ships that are Russia and Iran are both still selling their petroleum, even though there's sanctions against them for trading with people like India and Pakistan and, each other, Iran. Even though there's sanctions against them trading, they still do it. They just do it kind of like with this ghost fleet. So that's what the tariffs are supposed to impact. It's just supposed to take pressure off of them. So maybe it's just a sign of goodwill, like Trump's saying, hey, hey, Vlad, we'll back off just a tad if you agree to sit down with Zelensky. It's something like that.
Okay. And so what? They can't. They're just obviously they're not speaking to each other. So it's like you tell him that I said this, whatever.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I doubt very seriously that Trump is fluent, like in conversational Russian, but I would not be surprised if Putin or even his body double was fluent in conversational English. Like, I bet Putin could have a conversation in English. I don't think Trump could have a conversation in Russian,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what's his wife?
Oh,
She's some sort of
she,
Slovakian.
everyone used to say she's Russian, but is she actually Ukrainian? I don't know. We should know that.
I don't know. Some
Is
sort of.
Melania Russian or Ukrainian? I can give that a goog. She's worth that.
So yeah, he may very well speak the language. But I think what I was actually thinking of, I feel like didn't he have a really bad body double? One of those.
She's Slovenian.
Okay.
Uh,
Um,
I think Trump has had a body double. I think that Trump that you saw in his trials when he got convicted of them 34 misdemeanor felonies,
no.
I think that was the body double. I think that guy had a younger face. It almost looked like he was AI.
How?
It,
I mean,
it's
I guess if the court allows it, I could maybe see that.
I think he was like, "Hey, there's a good possibility I might be going to
Yeah.
prison, and your family is going to be rewarded handsomely if you go to prison for 29 years for me."
Dude, that would be the way to do it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I wonder if that's ever happened.
It's
I,
got to have.
I mean, that's like the movies. I doubt that's ever happened in real life. You think?
Absolutely. I mean, it's had to have. You think like worst comes to worst, and I don't see how they'll ever let this happen, but do you think worst comes to worst, let's say something crazy like Obama gets found guilty. They dig up these charges of election interference or collusion or whatever it is, and Obama gets found guilty, and all these other Democrats that they're trying to tie up into this, and they actually get sentenced to prison. You think Obama is going to see the inside of a
No,
prison? Hell no.
no, he wouldn't even be sentenced.
That's probably more accurate. He probably wouldn't be sentenced. He'd probably be held under the same presidential immunity that Trump was protected by. But like in a crazy way that he was convicted, he still wouldn't go inside the prison. There would be a elegant, tall black man that is just the right amount, maybe even has some surgery.
But I'm saying like there's got to be some safeguards. Just like obviously they're not checking DNA, but
My brother in Christ, have you been asleep for the last? Remember, these people are not held accountable.
that's
Nothing
true.
that you see is real.
That's
Up
true.
is down and down is up. These people are not held accountable. Um, just
I
to
mean
go ahead.
that's pretty wild to think of. But let me ask you this: what 20 years? Okay,
Uh-huh.
how much would it take for you to serve? Let's say that you look
Mm,
just like a
a,
somebody.
a politician or someone rich enough to convince me.
So the first thing I'm going to need is
Okay.
not so much. Go ahead.
It's gonna be more than even money, even. It's gonna be I'm gonna have a list. I'm gonna
Well,
hand you a list.
I mean, first things first. It's got to happen now. Like
Mhm.
I'm not waiting for a payday in 20 years. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to need some promises right here and now.
Yeah.
But beyond that, well, yeah, what's it going
What's
to
the
take?
top of the list? What's the top of the list of me is um I don't know of a number as far as money. I'd have to have someone smarter than me, like financial wise, translate it to where I want my family to be in this certain percentage. I want my family to be in this tax bracket. I want whatever that
Uh,
number is based on the GDP, I want us to be there.
well, here's what I'm going to say. And this is probably the only time that you ever want to receive the Epstein treatment.
Yeah.
But that's the sort of arrangement I
I
want.
want something that rhymes with the Schmepstein treatment, please.
I I will come and go as I please
That's right. So
on the
top of the
weekends.
top of the list is some sort of financial contribution. Second is what type of security we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
I want minimum security. I want tennis courts. I don't even play
Well,
tennis.
well, maybe like you want maybe maximum security around you.
Yes.
Like I'm gonna need security around me.
The Epstein treatment, I want my own security
Yes,
detail. Guess what? I'll pay for it.
that would be great. If you could just somehow protect me from killing myself, that would be awesome. If you could make sure the cameras are working, that would be sweet.
I want at least 3 people around me that I choose that always be around me.
Yeah. Food, like
Food.
I'm not eating that.
I ain't eating prison slop.
Maybe I
What
mean
is
that,
a rotation though? Because you don't want to raise any too many flags, because eventually the prisoners are going to turn
Okay.
on you.
That's why I got that maximum security
That's why
detail.
you got your. That's why you got your detail.
That's why I'm in red, baby.
If you had to plan a 5-day, or maybe could you give me a 7-day rotation of meals you'd like to receive? Of like, hey, because they're gonna say, hey, we can't
Well,
bring the Four Seasons out here for you, sir. You're gonna just tell us what you want, and we'll get you that.
I'm gonna twist this just a little bit from, going from like name your price, like, hey, I'm going to prison for you.
Uh-huh.
This is what I require. Let's say that there's a special operation for
Uh-huh.
CIU. Okay, we've got somebody, and we wouldn't do Sedgwick County because you work there. Let's say Harvey County.
Okay.
Harvey County we don't know how they're doing it. They're getting drugs smuggled into jail. We're gonna need you, Clayton Blackwood,
We're
to
gonna need you,
serve
deputy. We're gonna we're gonna
30
tie
days.
we're gonna make it look like we fired you. We're gonna make it look we're gonna make it look
Maybe
like
put on the
you went out and
news.
yep. A couple articles about you, maybe even a mugshot, and then you're going in. You're
Deep,
going in
deep undercover.
Well, you're already plenty tatted up, but what tattoos would you suggest that I get? Like just off the jump, like, just looking at me plain white
I
skin.
mean, you're
Initially,
gonna need 666, and you're gonna need some sort of
where
area
do I
something.
have to put 666 at?
I'd say over one of your eyebrows.
No, not on the head, on the eyebrow.
Here's the deal. Are you trying to do this job or what?
What about 888? Can I at least get it changed to 888?
I'm not sure what the extra 8 would be for.
3 eights. 888.
But for what?
Instead of 666. Like I'm just superstitious enough to where I don't want 666. Can I
But why would you go for 8? Why not go for 7?
because isn't well, I don't want to get too deep on here. I think 8's better than 7 sometimes.
Okay.
But yeah,
Nah,
can
bro.
it has to be 6s? Okay. 666 on the eyebrow.
Here's what I'm just
thinking
gonna design
a
this for you.
teardrop. Okay.
Can I just design this for you?
Head to toe. Give me a makeover,
Okay.
a prison tattoo makeover I need.
I want you to have 666 over one of your eyebrows.
Okay,
I'm gonna-
picture it.
I'm gonna need shamrock as a teardrop.
A shamrock teardrop?
Yep.
I'm sounding pretty Schmarian right now.
Sorry, bro. That's the direction.
Dang it. I
That's
wanted
the
to be
direction
inclusive.
That's the direction. Well, I mean, we could do like a
I can get some gangster shit up here.
something. Yeah, I was trying to think of something inclusive. How
No,
about
it's
that?
all good.
How about that furry getting eaten by a pack of wild wolves? By the way. Sorry, bro. They're not quite that inclusive yet.
That's right. I guess I am still going to prison. All right, give me my survival tats.
Okay.
I got 666, the
You
shamrock.
got the shamrock. What are we gonna have on your? I mean, because I ain't trying to get you like. I'm not trying to get you like murdered.
Right.
Like, what's on your throat?
No regrets.
No regrets. Okay?
No regrets. No regrets on my throat. I want it carotid to carotid right here.
Here's the question: What type of criminal are we wanting to make you?
Oh,
Are you a made
asking?
man? Are you a made man, or are you stealing copper wire?
I'm an independent contractor, but I'm a smuggler. I don't work for any organization, but I do take contracts for organizations. I'm not affiliated with your thing. I'm not repping it, but I will work for you. I'm a smuggler that got nipped. I got too close to the sun.
Okay.
I got a whole backstory. Dude, I go deep with that. Are you kidding me? I'm from Oakland, son.
So yeah, we got the shamrock. We got the
Okay, so how about just because the whites and the browns, the lighter shade browns do get along in prison. So
Yeah.
how about Malverde? Jesus, is it Jesus Malverde? How about again? Oh no, the
What
perfect
about what
Santa
about?
Muerta, son.
Oh,
I'm a gringo
I,
Santa Muerta devotee.
I was gonna say, what about a senorita? Senorita.
Mm, the Danny Trejo senorita on my belly. That hell yeah. Get the Danny Trejo senorita wearing a
So
mm,
so yeah. So 30 days, and I think this
30
is
days
actually
in,
I think this is actually a show. I'm pretty sure they made this show on.
multiple shows, movies, books. Yeah, this is a whole genre. This is a whole genre we're tapping on. Who do I have to go in to infiltrate? Like who's the target?
Well, we're just trying to figure out how this. Did you ever do the jail searches?
Yeah, all the time. I worked at the jail.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, like from patrol. So we started getting like
Mm,
the K2 or whatever it was, and we would.
no, I was on the jail side observing a few of those.
Okay. So we're looking for a joint, right?
A
Or
hollowed out chess piece that they think that's the one that I saw was a hollowed out chess piece that they think someone smoked some K2 spice in.
yeah. So we bring the entire investigations division, and like empty the courthouse, and we're coming to search the jail.
Uh-huh.
Uh, so that's why you're in there. In there, you're trying to figure out where this is coming from,
Well, okay, who's bringing it
and
in?
you get to
Who's
be
using their
whatever
prison purse?
you get to be whatever character you want to be.
Okay, I get carte blanche on the character selection.
Uh no, I'm gonna let you take it. I'm gonna let you take the wheel for a minute.
Jesus, take the wheel. Okay. So I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna come in, like I said, that persona of like the independent contractor, I'm gonna take that and run with it. So of course with
What are you booked on?
I'm booked on criminal possession. Possession
Okay.
with intent, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Possession with intent. And mate, let's say you could add something like maybe possession of a firearm. Possession of
It's got to at least
felony.
be something that they're holding you on.
Yeah, felony possession and maybe like some old traffic or maybe like an old warrant that they're extraditing on.
Yeah, okay. So you're just here.
I'm,
They're sending you up to Ellis County at some point. Whatever.
I'm in yo-yo. I'm still waiting to see the old man. I got evidence coming in. I'm just kind of in limbo right now.
Okay.
They're fucking with my freedoms, brother. They're jealous because I'm a free white Christian man. They're just trying to hold me down. So I'm in there. Of course, I have to pal up with my,
Who? Yeah. Who are you going to seek out?
well, everyone says my favorites. I'm gonna go to the Mexicans. I'm gonna go to the Mexicans. I'll tell you why.
I thought you were just going to start handing out favors. You're not doing that yet? or the Mexicans. Is that where you're going to start the favors?
Yo, what do I got to do to get some cornbread around here? What do I got to do to get a soup?
Yeah, I got to do that crunch. Okay, so you're going to the Hispanics.
I'm going to the Hispanics, and because I got some rapport, and because I feel like the Hispanics are a good go-between. I'm still good with the the vanilla faces, and I'm still good with the brothers because there's some intermingling on both sides there. I'm not gonna be chatty Cathy, but I'm gonna make sure that someone's sneaking me in. This is a smoking prison.
Oh.
I'm gonna make sure. Oh yeah, that's gonna add to my thing. Like, hey, I can bring in some smokes. Who else
that's
can
a
bring
good.
in?
So
So
that's a good ploy.
I'm gonna have a steady supply of some. What kind of smokes do I need to bring in?
Parliament.
Some dirty pee, some parliaments. All right,
Some
y'all.
Parliament, full bodied, no filter. No, they're filtered.
Yeah, they have to be filtered. If you're gonna go no filter, I was gonna say Lucky Strikes no filter.
Yeah, but
that's too old school. You think?
Yeah,
too cliche.
Too cliche.
Okay. Hey, I can get, or maybe even make it like hurt a little bit. I can get some Virginia Slims. Like I know they're not the cigarettes you want, but they're still tobacco. And guess what? I can get full flavored or menthol, my man.
You know,
Yo,
you
you
know
got them
how,
Slims?
first off, cigarette memes are just like
The best.
they're the best right now. I think I sent you one the other day that said, "I've had cigarettes that were better than entire years of my life." I felt like that was so spot on.
Yeah,
But
dude.
you know how like sometimes, man, just smoking a cigarette just makes you look cool.
Are you kidding me?
Like it
Yeah.
just makes. Now
I'm
what if?
willing to trade years of my life for that. Yeah, of course I know.
And so, what if you replace that Marlboro Red with a Virginia Slim or a Capri 120? How does that? Can you look cool smoking one of those?
Well, here in prison you can. You know, I'm not gonna say who, but I once asked someone who I knew went to prison multiple years, spent over half of his life in prison. I once asked him, I'm like, hey, all that weird stuff that you see on the movies, like fellas getting sweet on fellas, that doesn't really happen in prison, does it? And this is one of the most macho men I've ever known. And he goes, well, when in Rome. Like, you know what the Bible says, when in Rome. So I took that to mean, so if you're on the outs, no, man, I ain't with that. That's, that's this or that. I ain't about that
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you're on
right.
the outs. But when you're inside, hey, man, sometimes you gotta smoke. You know what I mean? I got a light, you gotta smoke. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta
Right,
play the
right.
game. So I'm looking for someone who's bringing in some spice, and I got some Virginia Slims to trade. I can
Okay.
go. Yeah, I think the Hispanics is my go-to. Now you're already tatted up, and you definitely have the Irish. I feel like you got the Irish flair. Would you go in and just go straight Aryan, you think? Like
Man,
black lace or red laces, black boots kind of?
are we talking jail or prison?
30 days, it's got to be jail.
Yeah, 30 days in jail. I'm just minding my own. Well, I've got a job to do though.
Yeah, you got a job. You got to find who's bringing in this K2
Yeah.
spice, son. This tearing it up, this menace.
I'm honestly shocked that that wasn't an assignment they gave us. Because some of the
Oh,
assignments were so dumb.
I
Such a complete waste of money.
seriously
And
over
time
like
over
Delta
the
8 vapes getting
over the
smuggled in.
dumbest stuff.
Hundreds of, at least tens of thousands of dollars, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on operations over essentially legal things.
100% legal.
Yeah,
And not only like not talking about in the jail, we're talking about in the free world
in the free world.
where you can buy it at Douglas and Seneca. Yet we're spending I don't even who know, countless overtime hours, countless salary, countless um, undercover funds. Like the amount of money is stupid. Anyway, I'm shocked that wasn't an assignment that they gave us.
Well, that kind of leads into something I wanted to talk about. Oh, maybe I got the wrong link, but this leads into it too. There was an article I found when looking at these notes about Wichita cartel bust recently is what it
Yeah.
was labeled. But let me see. Oh, but when I was looking it up, another thing that came up was 20 Kansas Supreme Court recently overturned a big drug bust interdiction stop from Geary County. And I knew some Geary County. Oh man, I have
Yeah.
Big Kev. Remember Big Kev?
Yeah, that's right on I-70.
Yeah, Big Kev. That's another story for another time. But he got busted by a Geary County guy with 24 grand leaving Wichita. But Kansas Supreme Court recently overturned a drug conviction that was based out of Geary County in 21. So we were both working when this happened in March of 21. I'm not going to name the deputy, but it's named in this article by NPR. Pulled over a motorist on I-70. He noticed that the word Illinois couldn't be seen or read on the tag. So that was his whole purpose of stop.
But when he called it in, yeah, 27 1045 Illinois, such and such.
So I haven't not tell you the truth, I haven't taken time, but it was enough to where it was a good
That's interesting that the Supreme Court.
2.1 pounds of meth is what was seized.
Okay.
And the person was sentenced, Beck, 56, was sentenced to 10 years in prison at Winfield. And in 2024, a 3-judge panel appellate court affirmed that conviction based on his license plate wasn't clearly visible as required. I don't know. They agreed something, and it was just overturned by Kansas Supreme.
I'm honestly surprised that he got 10 years for 2 pounds.
Hell yeah.
That seems really stiff.
Maybe he was I don't know. Could it be it was a problem child, like someone they had an axe to grind?
Did you say it was meth?
Yeah, 2.1 pounds of meth.
Hmm.
So a kilo. He had a kilo. But meth usually doesn't come in kilos. It usually comes in pounds.
Usually comes in pounds, but there's just so much of it these days.
Yeah.
Granted, that was
back in the day. Maybe they changed it up. But that was in 21 where you got that.
In any case, that was one of those stops that or one of the reasons for stop that we would use pretty frequently.
I use that all the time. All the time.
Yeah, the dealer vanity, whatever cover.
Yeah. What about the clear covers? You think clear covers is a good reason to stop someone?
Oh, it's by the letter of the law. It's
well,
lawful.
So is the license plate cover, I would say.
100%. 100%. But
okay, so is that case law? So if you're a sergeant now, like let's rewind to you're still a patrol sergeant, and not interdiction, but just third shift, and you know that we're stopping local drug dealers and even maybe some light interdiction stuff, whatever. We're using that reason to stop people all the time, and now Kansas Supreme Court says that wasn't a good stop based on that alone.
What do you know specifically what they said?
They said it wasn't a good reasonable suspicion. They said it didn't meet reasonable suspicion for a stop. Like it wasn't he didn't. Yeah, I guess they said it didn't rise to the level of reasonable suspicion.
I mean, it's not just reasonable suspicion. It's like it's an
actual infraction.
It's an actual violation.
Yeah.
Which has always that's always kind of bothered me. Like in the police jargon, where we talk about reasonable suspicion where they'll talk about probable cause when you don't need probable cause, you just need reasonable suspicion or whatever. But depending on what exactly they said, that would have a lot to do with it. I still think that a lot of the stops that we made on third shift, I think would be valid stops, even without if we're going on reasonable suspicion.
Yeah.
Remove the tag violation or the whatever, like just the reason we were stopping them, I think most of the time would rise to the level of reasonable suspicion.
Mm-hmm. What were some of the crazy ones that were just kind of abused that now you?
Oh, well, like reasons for stop?
Yeah, I know one that I always thought was weird, even though I used it, was failing to stop at the stop line. And when I was there, that statute was actually reworded to kind of get away from that. But failing to stop at the line versus failing to stop at the stop sign, I used to pull people over all the time for failing to stop at the line because in the old statute, that was how it was written.
Yeah. I know a lot of times fail to signal 100 feet, that got overused.
Oh man, were you there when there was, I don't know if it was an interdiction stop, but it was someone used that failure to signal 100 feet and got like a pretty big arrest that ended up getting dismissed because it was
I feel like I heard something about that.
Yeah.
I don't know the details of it, but
Everyone gave me that cautionary tale whenever I started getting loads on the highway, and everyone
yeah.
thought they were trying to find how I was, what law I was breaking, how I was
Right,
profiled,
right,
yeah, to get these
right.
loads.
I mean, yeah, you're getting loads like that because you're stopping on
Yeah,
flaky
because
stuff. If
yeah,
I was stopping on flaky stops, I'd get a load too.
what are you, Biscuit Junior?
It's easy when you don't care about the Constitution.
Yeah.
Um, so failed to signal 100 feet,
Uh-huh.
following too close. That one actually,
I feel like
I,
that one's not stopped on enough.
I think yeah, I think you could probably push the envelope on that one.
Yeah.
Um,
I think maybe getting a judge to buy off on it. Like, I think if you get challenged on following too close, the average deputy, definitely I would have a hard time. I mean, maybe I could just because I really got into the weeds, but definitely the average deputy would have a hard time justifying. Yeah, I think if he's challenged on, well, how do you know what's too close? Like, how do you define too close, deputy? You
yeah,
know?
I mean, so I think in this specific case, I would probably say something like, well, I counted and he was less than 2 seconds behind
Yeah,
the car in front of him, and
that's
I know
exactly right.
that at 75 miles an hour, it takes X number of seconds to to stop at this distance and all this kind of stuff. The hard part is going to be, deputy, how many vehicles, like how long were you out there on the side of the road?
Uh-huh.
6 hours. How many vehicles did you think passed? No idea. Well, take a guess. 1,000. Okay. Of those 1,000, how many do you think were following this distance or closer?
Yeah.
And then why? So why? What was it about this California plate
Uh-huh.
or New Mexico vehicle that made
Or
you
what was it
so?
about this driver? Was there something
Yeah,
different about this driver?
yeah. Why were you so concerned about this guy's safety?
Is there something about his appearance that jumped out to you, deputy?
Because that's what I mean. That's ultimately you'd have to be making a safety stop.
Yeah. That's why I did take time to stop the old lady and to stop even the middle-aged guy that was coming home from work. Like, I made a conscious decision to stop them for the reasons that I would stop a load. Like, if I'm going for lingering in the
Yeah.
left-hand lane, I use that, which is,
Now,
questionable, lingering in the left-hand lane. I use that to stop grandma, just so if I stopped the mule, I would be okay with that.
now, for sure, there's all types.
Uh,
All types of people are carrying loads, and I think we probably miss a lot of loads that just don't fit the stereotype.
yeah, absolutely.
But is that not just a waste of time? That like when TSA was having like randomly clearly picking out people that had like a 6-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Like let me see your Crocs. Like
Or the lady in the
like
wheelchair. Have you seen the videos of the people in the wheelchair having to get out? Like, the TSA agents have to pick them up out of their wheelchair to search their wheelchair.
I mean, I guess at the same time, if I was
That would
gonna,
be a good place to
that's
struggle.
that's a good
Maybe
idea
even throwing
actually.
off hints like, I certainly hope I don't have heroin in my butthole.
Ooh,
Uh-oh, you might have to check.
I can't tell if that's a poop coming or a balloon. Uh, have you ever thought about how you might smuggle things into sporting events or like different venues?
I'm not gonna. What, are you gonna read me Miranda here?
Not weapons, of course. Uh,
Hypothetically.
Substances.
Oh yeah, substances. Well, that's kind of where I was gonna go with, to end that, because, or to, on the other end of that, is you and I were were good at that or whatever. We were passionate about that, and that was something that we latched onto. But in the grand scheme of things, especially with our, the perspective we have now, that was just a giant waste of time and resources. Even though I loved catching
It was
smugglers,
fun, so much fun.
so much fun, should have been going after violent and property crimes. I think that's the only real crimes to go after, as violent and property crimes. And there was plenty of those to investigate.
Yeah.
I just
And
wanted to
you
catch big loads.
and you can make an argument. You can make a fair argument that the property crime is related to the drug crime
Absolutely.
for
And
sure.
that's what I was saying.
But here's the problem. When you take that 2 pounds, that 2.2 pounds that was destined for Wichita, all you did is you raised property crime
Yeah,
because dope just got more expensive.
that's right.
And I can't afford it. So I'm gonna need that stereo, or I'm gonna need that weed eater.
That's right. Or man, and even I even heard about this by some of the people that I arrested is the people, their coworkers, whenever they find out that they got released the same day, are not going to be happy. And so or if they find out that they got arrested at all, their employers or their coworkers are not going to be very pleased with them. And like I've had people cry and break down and like, oh,
Yeah.
they're threatening my family back in Mexico.
Yeah, and that's
Like, oh,
that's a legitimate fear.
for real.
Yeah.
You know what I would do? Especially if I was from a third world country and there's this, hey, drive this across the border.
I'm driving across the border.
Aye, aye, petty officer. I'm out
and
of here.
I'm not looking back.
No. What would you do? We missed it. What would you do if you were the patrol sergeant? Would you tell?
Oh,
What would you say? Would you have anything to say if there was a Kansas Supreme Court decision that came down and said, specifically license plate covers? Like, I know the letter of the law says you can do this, but there's the top judge in the land, or the top judges in the
So-
land.
I think I gave this speech one time.
Yeah.
I would say, listen, this is a game we're playing, and we play in the American leagues, right? You can play in the national leagues, and they've got different rules in in Texas or wherever you want to play. But in this jurisdiction, it's the American League, and the rules here say we can't stop on plates or whatever it is. We
That's
can't
right.
make the stop. So I'm not sitting like the rule book says we can. The umpires are calling that out.
Yeah.
So we're not going to waste our time with that. We want chargeable cases. So continue. You're looking at the right place. You're looking at the right people. We got to find a better way.
That is, I think you might have given me that exact spill a few
Yeah,
different times.
I feel like I've said it before.
I feel like you've said that before, maybe even to me, and I feel like that is advice I willfully ignored. I might have even said, I understand what you're saying. I
Copy-
agree,
copy
but
that.
you are wrong.
That's very interesting. I am not interested.
That might be very interesting to someone else, but not moi. And this is from
At this point, descheduling isn't enough.
no
I want like
full recreational legalization.
I want the government sending it like stimulus checks.
Here, wait a second. Time ends. All right, we came back from a break. Something that me and Justin were just talking about was this is from the Times I'm reading. It says, or from Time magazines, time.com, Times magazines. What is this? What's going on? It says,
Did you read this?
The editor
Cash is up there just pumping out these editorials.
Cash, these are my chat GPT has Cash on the other end of it. He's watching YouTube videos. I'm like, hey, give me 5 ideas about this. He's like, sure thing, daddy-o.
You got it.
Is the Trump administration considering softening laws on cannabis? And what this hints at, and I think what you were going to talk on too, and I super agree with you, is this was talking about descheduling it or bringing it down from a Schedule 1, which there's no medical benefit, to a Schedule 2, or at least they say there's a medical benefit. You're saying that's not good enough, and I'm right there.
No. I mean, if this were 2016, that would have
That's
been
a good start.
That,
For 10 years ago, we're talking, but we're past that.
But in 2025, yeah, not only do I want to see it just not scheduled, I want I want my
I
government
want a public
issued.
apology.
Yeah, and I'll settle. I'll settle for an apology by way of maybe
28 grams. I
or
want
maybe
28 grams per week, fella.
maybe every citizen should get 2 plants.
2 plants, healthy, flowering females.
Yes, it's up to you to take it from here. But
I'm just putting this bug in your ear, but this is a good starting place.
Right, we're sorry.
Up from here, and then again, we're sorry.
Yeah.
No, what's even worse is they're making more laws against it. Like, even while Trump is talking about descheduling it, the state governments, it happened in Georgia, it happened here in Alabama, and it's even spreading out through some of these southern states, is now they're cracking down on the Delta 8 and the legal versions of hemp. It happened in Arkansas. When I was there visiting my brother, I went to a vape shop. I was like, hey, I was scratching when I walked through the door, scratching my neck. I'm like, hey, you got any smoke? And I think he thought I was a cop at first. He was like, no, sir, we do not do that here. And I'm like, oh, well, I thought there was. And he was like, where are you from? I'm like, I'm visiting from Georgia. I'm here visiting my brother. And he was like, oh, no, man, it just passed last month. There's no flour, no vape, no oils, nothing hemp derived anymore.
Are you serious?
In Arkansas, like
yeah, nothing Delta,
nothing. I don't even know if CBD is legal there, to tell you the truth, but definitely none of the fun stuff. No Delta, nothing.
Wow.
Not gummies, not vapes. Definitely no flour.
And so, like, I saw Texas was talking about doing this, and I don't know, I'm not sure who it was, but I saw a video where they're just like they're showing the different packaging, and this is intended for kids and blah. Like, it's so
the same bullshit.
So absolutely ignorant stuff. Like, you got this 300, 400 pound dudes talking about, like, this is the type of stuff you want to put in your body, blah blah blah. It's gonna make you.
And that's so cultural blind, like on so many levels. Like, to say, like, just to take that thought just on its own merits, that this is intended for kids because it's in kids packaging. Well, I'm wearing a shirt that has, fancy lettering. Like, this could be a Hurley shirt. I'm not a professional surfer. I'm 40 years old. Like, it's so cultural blind to say that everything in kid packaging is just for kids, especially in 2025, when my brother wears basketball shorts and a tank top wherever he goes, because that's just how he's comfortable. In 1980, that would have been socially impolite. Like, the culture has changed, homie.
Yeah, or like I bought a package of Nerds the other day.
Yeah.
Just because, anyway, it was just so dumb, and it was really aggravating, because I felt like at whatever level this guy is, at whatever level of importance within society, surely he's smart enough to know that it's just bullshit. Like, surely they've got to recognize.
And what they're saying is wrong. Like,
that's
hey, dude,
like, you're just wrong.
You know what you're saying is wrong. Like, the alcohol prohibition, I think, lasted like 14 years, in which gave birth to organized crime in America, hundreds of thousands of murders, corrupt politicians. And so we said, hey, this alcohol prohibition isn't a good thing. Let's stop that. That happened in I want to say that was over in 1914, toward the end of World War I. And now so we go from there all the way to the late 70s with the sweeping Psychedelic Prohibition Act, and then Nixon put in all the marijuana stuff at the same time, to where, I mean, they say history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes.
So there comes a point where if you know better, then why are we doing this?
Especially if you're going to be, if I look on your donations and I see that you're taking money from big tobacco or big alcohol, they say that's who's against it the most, is big alcohol.
Or I think
big pharma.
You may have pointed this out. Police unions.
That's right. Prison unions.
Unions. So like if you're the whatever of Texas,
Uh-huh.
and you're you've
Mr.
got
and
this
Miss
big
Representative.
press conference, whatever. Either you're not smart enough to understand what you're actually talking about, or
Yes.
you are, and there's ulterior motives.
And yes, either you're either you're dumb, maybe not willfully ignorant. Either you're so out of touch.
You've got to be willfully ignorant at this point.
At this point, it has to be willfully ignorant. Like you're just ignoring any. As soon as someone says, "Well, actually," you're like up.
Yeah.
Or you're on the take. And so either
It's
way,
gotta be.
you're not representing your people.
Now, I mean, I guess there's a third, and this kind of falls into the first category of maybe people that maybe they're true believers and they really do just think that I don't know.
But where does that die out? That has to die out at like mid-level management. The true believer, because the
Yeah.
true believer has to get burned when you get too close to the sun. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. I really can't make an argument for it. I wanted to like think of somebody that actually believes that this is poison and this is if you believe that,
If
then
you're still buying the 1980s dare propaganda that marijuana kills brain cells and it's a gateway drug, and that if you smoke marijuana now, you're going to be sniffing heroin tomorrow, and then you're going to be shoving ecstasy in your nostril,
I mean, life is short.
Right. YOLO.
You better get on that shit before you die, because then it's too late.
So either that's the third option, is you're a 1980s dare believer and you think this is your brain on drugs.
Well, so help me. I sure hope Kansas doesn't go that route.
I think does Kansas still have the Democratic lady governor?
Yeah.
So I think she's she's like kind of a bastion of hope there, even though I was pretty against her, and I think in some ways I might still be, with like maybe her financial or economic policy stuff, but I'm willing to flex on that too. But I think as long as there's a Democratic governor, hopefully they're in touch enough to protect grass.
As long as Lawrence and Kansas City, like half of Kansas City, as long as those two places stay part of Kansas, I think we're probably okay. But actually, I'm a little surprised. I wonder if Missouri has done anything with Delta.
I don't know.
I know they've got recreational.
If you have recreational weed, you don't need Delta. But I think Delta's fun. I think THC A and P is better than regular Delta 9 cannabis.
Well, I've found the Delta stuff that you get in smoke shops around here stronger or better than stuff that you get
from
in Colorado.
Amen.
Yeah. So,
and I've had more than one friend that's like because I never dabbled really until I got a medical retirement from law enforcement. Like I was a good boy, you know what I mean? Right. I never really dabbled. So some of my friends that were lifelong actual cannabis smokers, I'd at a barbecue or whatever in the backyard, I'm like, hey, try this thing. A lot of them said they had a greater reaction from even the Delta 8 at first, but definitely the THCA and THCP than their regular cannabis. So I mean, it's good stuff.
Yeah. Well, so I guess I wonder what the response is. So like, if you've got legal marijuana, are those states even concerned about the Delta, or is it just kind of its own?
So this is what the employee at the head shop that I was going to here in Alabama, when I was talking,
there's nobody more like tuned in to the
they know
biology
the letter
and
of the law.
Yes, dude. They've
like,
got
well,
it down.
Actually, there's a recent Supreme Court case.
When it reaches 117 degrees, the molecules turn into THC.
Let me show you these resin crystals. When I was chatting with him the last week and I was getting my last little supply before I knew it was coming at this date. They're like, past this date, you can't buy it here anymore. I was in there the last week, and he said that in Alabama specifically, and this is, like I said, this is third-hand knowledge, that it's going to fall into the hands of the state alcohol and tobacco agency, like
Okay.
that all the Delta stuff is, because it falls under the tax revenue. And so if they determine, like independent now, since it's in their jurisdiction, if they determine that they want to legalize it again just to raise for tax purposes, they have the authority to do that.
And that's bullshit too.
Isn't that such
That's
such
something
bullshit? Like
that
now
something
you
could be
know.
that something could literally be illegal for you to do
Yes.
based on how much
Collect.
taxes we can take from it, how much
Yeah.
we can steal from. If we can't steal enough, then hey, you can't.
We're going to say
can't
you
do it.
can't do this unless it starts to hurt our tax revenue enough to say, and we're going to have this exception in the law. Like, we might decide to legalize it again.
We might decide to let you do what you want with your own body.
Yeah, exactly. Something that's less harmful than coffee. That reminds me, talking about Trump, because that was a Trump idea of bringing it back to Schedule 2, which I think we both agree is not acceptable. That's not enough. He's also, have you heard he's federalized the police in Washington, D.C.? And even bringing in federal law enforcement officers and National Guard to bolster. They're like doing patrols, law enforcement patrols in Washington, D.C. Have you heard about that?
No, but I was talking to a high-ranking sheriff official, we'll say, who said that I'm not sure exactly what, I don't want to misquote him, but that he could see a national, like a federalization or nationalizing of the police force. Like,
well, the Constitution prohibits that federally. It was across the nation. There's an exception built in for the District of Columbia specifically, and it's kind of in this case. Like the founding fathers kind of predicted it or saw where this could be a thing. The reason why the District of Columbia is not a state, and they've had a couple like local elections, they've wanted to make themselves a state. They're like, hey, we want to become a state. And the federal government has final say-so of all laws in the District of Columbia because it's a federal district. And it's a federal district because they want the capital to be immune from basically the protections that the 10th Amendment gives all the states. So that's why DC can't have a governor when even Puerto Rico has a governor. DC can't have a governor. It has a mayor, but it can't have a governor because they need, in case like there's civil unrest, in case there's crime, in case there's murders are rampant and there's homeless people on the doorsteps of the Capitol, or in case there's like civil unrest, my watch is listening to me, or in case there's civil unrest, like you could see a protest like an Antifa or a BLM or even January 6th where conservative guys storm the Capitol. The president has to be able to take authority of all law enforcement and basically all the faculties of DC. There's a special rule built in the Constitution just for DC.
Okay.
And so I don't like it, and we'll get into it as specifically as a veteran angle, the veteran homeless population. But just to kick it off, he's decided to do this, and he has 30 days where he's basically flooding the streets with he's taken command and control of the police force and basically the faculties of the District of Columbia, and he's flooding the streets with federal agents and National Guard to act in law enforcement capacity. What do you think about that?
But so what does that mean though? Like you say that he's taken.
So like the chief of police is now taken. There's probably someone in the Department of Justice. It's not Trump on the phone. Like, pull this car over. No,
Yeah, right.
I don't like that license plate.
So what would that look like? Let's say for our agency, like, so you would just have somebody like maybe KPI shows up and says, hey, here's the blanket policies we're operating on.
Yes.
Here's the statutes that
I think we saw that. Didn't we see that? I remember in like a local. I want to say
Oh,
that happened when we were both in.
I
Yeah,
think,
that KBI took control of a jurisdiction's law enforcement.
yeah, that
Oh,
sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't.
I remember that happening. I have to look that up. But yeah. But that's what it would be. It would be like, hey,
Okay.
old sheriff is out. Now here's agent, senior agent,
Okay.
blah 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 with the KBI. And
So
we'll
the
everybody else is on notice. Well, we'll be going through your cases.
the question then of what do you think of that? I mean, it makes me uncomfortable having the military enforce laws. One, I think probably most practically, just because like it's not something like it's a job that you better know how to do it. You know,
Yeah.
we've talked before about how like you've
Just how complicated the job is.
yeah, and how any situation could become life like could
Life or
become
death.
a yeah. Um, so that makes me like I would hope that you'd have more
Yeah. So
training
from
and
like the
experience than
practical
that.
view there, yeah.
Yeah. Aside from that, there's really bad optics,
Super bad optics. So
especially
I
like this time, like
Yeah,
in
especially
this.
when everyone's criticizing your every move and you still haven't released the Epstein files.
Are we still talking about that creep?
Are we still? I feel like this, everything that's happened since then, I don't even care how legitimate it is. Like, we could be attacked, and I'd still think, yeah, you should have released the Epstein files. Like,
Yeah,
this might be a cover. This might be
yeah.
a ploy.
On your deathbed. What
Yeah.
about the Epstein
Epstein
files?
files. So I think like a society is really bad. It's not a very good sign if you hear things like martial law thrown around. If the federal government has seized control and has like that's basically martial law. When there's
Yeah.
patrols of the military on your street, enforcing curfews, enforcing restricted zones, enforcing who can travel between where, checking your papers, pulling you over, let me
Uh,
see your papers.
I mean, that sounds a lot like Eastern Europe or, third world country that
Yeah, dude.
doesn't
That's
sound
not
like
the
America.
America that I grew up hearing about. That's not
Now,
the America that I wanted to go fight for.
but what exactly, like, so what are they doing?
So
Like, are they,
basically, it's that they've taken. There's probably someone from the Department of Justice taken command control at least at the very top of the agency. And there's probably, I'd imagine, liaisons at different levels. And they're because what they say has been happening is the DC's crime rate is through the roof, and it historically has been. But what the Democrats and people who've been objecting to this, I listened to kind of a deep dive to this on our way to Pensacola today. I tormented my family by listening to an hour-long Mike Baker review on this. But the Democrats are saying that crime rate is actually at a 30%, it's 30% lower year after year in Washington, D.C., and it has been like that for the last 20 years. It's been on a 30% decline year over year. But
okay?
what like actual agents or like former officers of the DC Metro Police are saying is that their leadership is telling them at squad meetings and at patrol meetings to downgrade their crimes, to
Yeah.
downgrade it from like, yeah, sure, it can be attempted murder, but isn't this more like a reckless homicide? you know
Well, that's what Wichita was doing with their stolen cars.
Absolutely, that's what they were doing.
So
We've seen that, so that's
turn,
not a stretch.
hey, you put it, it's an attempt to locate,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden our auto thefts are solved.
Yeah, are you kidding me? We don't have an auto theft problem.
Look at the stats.
Look at the stats, homie. So yeah, so we know that we've seen that happen firsthand. That's what they say has been happening there for that decline. Um, there's obviously he's trying to clean it up for optics. He's trying to put like the Trump Tower stamp on everything that he does, which there's good and bad with that, right? Because you're making things better whenever you try to do that. Like, you are putting at least gold plating on it. What I have a problem with is he's specifically targeting the homeless population. Like he's even stated that as his goal to home. And I know that's a problem. I know obviously that's an epidemic, is the homelessness, which is mostly tied to mental illness and drug addiction. It's kind of like what came first, chicken or the egg with that. Mental illness, drug addiction, which gets into property crimes, which gets into some simple assaults and things like that. There's a big population of the homeless population that are veterans and that are untreated veterans that are mentally unstable and are addicted to it. And I can get into the reasons, but I guess I really don't think I have to. Like, I think anyone with a brain and a heart could see why I have an objection to the president of the United States specifically targeting homeless veterans, homeless people, which includes a large portion of veterans, people who've gone to war and fought and died for this country and are not right. They're not right now. Like, you can say whatever it is. Maybe they have the freedom to do that, but a healthy brain would not choose to do that, would not choose to sleep outside in winter.
Well, I think that for most of our lives, a homeless person, you could make a couple assumptions and you could probably be pretty accurate. There's mental health, there's drug abuse, there's a handful of things that are likely going on. But something that has changed, I think, within our lifetime is there are people that I know that you know that between their taxes and insurance, their mortgage has gone up like $400 a month.
Oh my God.
Now,
I'm talking about doubled. I've seen it double.
And so, like, your income didn't go up that much.
Hell no, it didn't. Let's say
that you're on disability, or you're on retirement, whatever it is.
That's right.
Or you're just working your ass off. You're working 2 jobs.
Yeah.
How do you bridge that gap? Well, a lot of people can't. And I think that I think we're going to start seeing a lot more quote unquote normal people homeless than before. And so it might have been real easy to say, well, I don't, I'm not hooked on heroin. I don't use crack, whatever. It doesn't impact me. It might. For too long.
I guarantee you're 1 degree away from someone that it does.
One degree away, and probably one
mishap in life, one step in life,
one
car wreck where you get
turn.
One car wreck where you get a healthy prescription of oxycodones, and now it hurts to not have it.
Yeah.
We've all heard it.
Or, neighborhood across the street goes in, raises the tax value, and you did not, like, you're just minding your own business, and your mortgage payment just went up $300.
Yeah.
On top of, like, you're already struggling to pay groceries and all.
That's right.
I'm just bitching. I'm just saying, though, that those the people that are being cleaned off the streets are people like you and me and our neighbors. And
oh man, I don't think Ashley would. I hope not. I don't think Ashley would mind me telling this story. When me and her first started dating in the Navy, I was an E3 and I was a senior airman, but I wasn't a petty officer yet. I was an E3 and she had just come out of A school. I was in the Navy a couple years before her. She just come out of A school and was like an E1 or maybe had just made E2. But I was up to make 3rd class. Well, I was I was renting a townhome with a couple of sailor buddies of mine out in Virginia Beach, but like we were filled up max to capacity, and we were all young. We were like 21, when we were living together, but we had come up with the rule that I followed, that we wouldn't have any more people move in. They're like, okay, we're done. No more people moving in. And so, like, I agreed to that. No more people moving in. Me and Ashley found ourselves in a spot where we needed to get an apartment. But the problem was, she had to live off of the ship for a period of time to get approved for BAH before she could get that apartment, but she didn't have anywhere to live. Well, we had that strict no more people into the place policy. So me and her, and this was the summertime, like we had food to eat and we had a shower and everything, but me and her slept in my Camaro. Me and her went, and I had a hatchback. We put the seats down flat, cracked the windows. It was sweet. It was down by the beach. We heard the ocean, but
Yep.
we were kind of forced to sleep in my car, and that was a voluntary. That's the least severe of situations these people are finding themselves, where all of a sudden, like you said, they can't afford to pay their mortgage. That happens for 3 months, and guess what? You ain't got a house anymore.
Yeah.
That's
And
not
guess-
your house.
And guess probably you're probably not going to be able to pay your taxes on your car.
No.
So that hatchback, you get caught driving by the wrong deputy, and now it goes to impound,
And you're going to jail.
going to jail, and you get released. You're out within 6 hours, but your car is in impound.
Yeah.
$120, and now
Yeah.
you're at Central and Broadway. You don't have a house. You don't have a car. You're fucked.
Yeah. You're literally fucked.
And the word on the street is, hey, we're cleaning things up. Like, what do they do? Where are these people going?
And let's say you already have some PTSD, or you already have some depression, you already have some anxiety, and then life just hits you in the dick like that.
Or maybe you've got a reason to have a problem with authority.
Yeah.
You've got an attitude problem already, right?
Yeah.
And
You've
then
already
somebody Yeah.
this shit happens. And maybe you even you've always had a problem with authority, or and it doesn't take much imagination to see how, but for the grace of God, there too go I.
Yeah.
No, you are not better than anyone.
Yeah.
It's honestly, life is, I've talked about my thoughts on free will.
Yeah, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I guess the point that I'm trying to make first off with this boom mic is how fucking cool I am.
Yeah, dude, that was so legit. You just changed that mid stride.
That's how you know I'm professional, because I
We
got
could barely tell.
the headphones and the mic. Yeah, I'm done talking about that. What else you got on the list?
Oh no, there's just Republican governors have volunteered their National Guard to go bolster the Washington D.C. if they need it. Like, just because they're such bootlickers that they're like, hey, just so you know, President, we'll send you if you need
anything,
we got you.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll pay for it, or the taxpayers will.
Here's something that's not on the list, but it just caught my eye. Something I didn't think I would ever really be interested in that I suddenly am is WNBA.
Oh, really? Oh, I know. I think I know where you're going with this.
Well, I mean, just like with the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and Sophie Cunningham. Like, never in my life.
Caitlin Clark, I think I recognize hearing those names, but Caitlin Clark is the brunette. She's the shorter brunette.
No, she's real tall.
Okay, but she's the one who's always like throwing bows, and girls
We're talking
are
about basketball, so they're all going to be tall.
Right.
None of the characters are going to be shorter.
Okay.
So clear. Sophie Cunningham is the blonde.
Okay.
Blonde teammate. Angel Reese is an African American gal on a different team. Apparently, they have beef.
Yes, I've seen.
But that's what I'm talking. But like, it's like watching the fights and the shoulder checks, and I never thought I'd be interested in. And this sounds so terrible. I never thought I'd be interested in women's basketball. But it's kind of interesting. Yeah.
Is WNBA getting help from WWE? Do you think someone's writing a script? Because there were conspiracy theories about that in football with Taylor Swift. Like, oh, the NFL is purposely bringing attention to this. Do you think someone's writing a script in the WNBA?
Dude, I hadn't even considered that.
Oh yeah,
that's a
conspiracy. You got to talk to your tinfoil hat friend.
Yeah,
about these.
I might have to dig into that.
Because I bet there's a lot of people that are starting to tune into WNBA now. I
There
was
are.
gonna say
Well,
some people are throwing things.
no, I was going to leave that out.
Okay. Okay.
But like, I don't know anything about this except that Ice Cube has a bunch of money
Uh-huh.
invested in some sort of a basketball challenge, and he's got Caitlin Clark is like what I'm getting at is he has invested millions of dollars into it.
Yeah.
So like there's something there. There's a reason why he's investing all this money. He knows
Maybe
something.
he's expecting some returns.
Yeah. So maybe I mean if it is a script, it's working.
Okay. If it's
Keep
a
it up.
script, yeah, keep it up, boys. I like your work. I'm not gonna
And good work on the dildos, by the way. Like, that was just-
Yes.
Whoever
Thank
wrote
you.
that in, I was just like
This is kind of an unfair meme. Like you see, it's not exactly apples to apples, but there's this meme that I'm really loving seeing is that there's been more people arrested for throwing green dildos onto the court than there has been for the Epstein list.
yeah.
Yeah, I know that's not exactly apples to apples, but I like that. That makes my
Yeah.
heart happy. That's where
It's-
society's mind is at.
It's still worth bringing out.
I'm not even gonna open. We're just gonna do it old school and just shoot straight from the hip.
Let's do it.
I'm not even gonna open the link, but there's these two articles and they're kind of on the same thing. One was by Baptist News, and the article was Branding Critique. If evangelical Christian deconstruction becomes a brand, it defeats its purpose. And so that's by Baptist News. And there's another one. Well, there was another one that kind of went into false flags. That was by Wired magazine, but that was unrelated. We'll stay on this. The Baptist News saying if they're young hip journalists. They're ones that
Yeah.
are plugged in and smarter than you dumb deconstruction guy. If evangelical Christian deconstruction becomes a brand, it defeats its own purpose. What do you think about that?
What I think is it makes me want to punch somebody.
I could tell your face
that's
got
so-
red.
It reminds me of specific people that I grew up with.
It's so presumptuous.
The snarkiness of it.
Yes.
It's the attitude, and I'll be honest, I've had this attitude. It's the attitude of, well, they don't want to believe in God because they want to do whatever they want to do.
Yes.
They don't want to submit to God. The only reason anybody doesn't believe in him is because they don't want, they want to be their own authority, whatever.
Yeah.
It's,
I get
it's the
this
same.
still. You believe that the universe is God. You're worshiping the creation, not the creator.
You dummy.
That's what they say. You dummy. You're worshiping the creation.
I saw totally off track. I saw a video on TikTok about how clearly Christianity is set apart from the other religions.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how? Do you know why? Because it says Jesus himself says in John that he's the only way.
Yeah.
So, mic drop. I don't know what else you need.
Dude,
It says right there.
that used to be a logic train of mine that I would argue with about convincing people that, about the Bible, like people who didn't have a problem. Like I'm trying to convince people, they're like, yeah, okay, dude, whatever. About how, when Jesus came back, like, well, the book of Acts says that there was over 500 witnesses, and these were people that the Jews were actively hunting. Do you think 500 people would voluntarily sign up for a death sentence to say that they saw a man to come back? And the obvious, like, rebuttal or whatever quick question is that was like, yeah, but who says there was 500 witnesses?
Right, exactly.
This book that you're saying, the same one that I'm refuting? Like, who says there was?
Yeah, which is on the same lines of to say, well, the Bible is without error, without that it's perfect, all this kind of, because it says it is.
Yeah, obviously,
Well,
it says it right here.
It says there's no errors, so what more do you want? It says I believe that settles it. So And
So the Baptist News saying that if evangelical Christian deconstruction becomes a brand, it defeats its own purpose. What I hear that is something that I've said, and I'm willing to even kind of re-explore this about how but I think this is true. Part of this is true, is that atheism has become its own almost religion unto itself. I think there is a form of atheist. I think maybe lumping all atheists together is the first flaw in that logic.
okay,
But I think there's a type of atheist that is like the Bill Mayer or the Richard
the
Dawkins type of
scientific.
scientific and better than you, and you're an idiot for believing in God. You know what I mean? Like, get real. You think there's something out there? And flicks a
Yeah.
cigarette out. Yeah. Who
Let me
is
tell you
that?
something, kid.
Yeah. Um, so there's that form of atheism which is kind of a religion. I used to say that all the time, that atheists has become their own religion to themselves. Like, obviously there's no real atheists because they just make their own religion. Maybe not. That's probably more nuanced than just that. Also, oh shucks, I forgot. Becomes brand, it defeats its own purpose. Is that atheists? What was just more on that is that there's no such thing as a real atheist. Like, I think, like, obviously everybody believes in their heart of hearts. If they tell you they're not,
Yeah,
they're just lying to you.
they're just trying to be their own authority.
Yeah,
They're
they're just
just trying
trying
to. Yeah.
and uh I mean, the real cure to that, and I'm really doing a disservice even kind of explaining it, but the real cure to that is to just expose yourself to more, to just educate yourself more, to question your core beliefs, like the Bible tells you to do, to question these things and to test them and to see if they come back, valid, to honestly say, am I okay with this and that, and to look up all the evidence. To do that, everybody's journey is going to be different. Like, it's literally impossible. So yeah, it's kind of what I'm saying is right on that line of the snarkiness and the arrogance and just the presumption of, I don't even have to read the article. They've already laid it out in the title. Like, you're
So,
dumb.
and give me the title one more time.
So the title is Branding Critique. Like, we want you to know we're critiquing this. If evangelical Christian deconstruction, quote, becomes a brand, it defeats its purpose. So
So here's now, obviously I've never read the article. I've never seen it.
yeah,
But
baptistnews.com, go there.
that makes me think that, well, you don't understand what deconstruction is then.
Yes.
Because it's not a brand and it's not some hip thing. It's a process that everybody's going to have their own process. Interestingly enough, I was kind of going through this, explaining this to a friend the other day, and I don't expect him to be on board. I don't expect him to get it, and I don't want him to get it. To be honest, I don't
Yeah.
want to take anything from him.
Yeah.
But it was interesting, even as I thought about it, that first, probably in 2008, I lost. I stopped believing in hell.
Yeah.
At least the way it was taught.
Right. The Sunday school
Then,
version.
yep. And then several years later, I lost what I would have called total depravity, meaning that the belief that everybody is born sinful, like is part, and I had scripture to support this. But the idea that everybody is born sinful and just as far apart from God as we possibly could be,
You just couldn't buy it.
couldn't buy it. Didn't.
Even though there was scripture that says that that's a thing.
Well, there's scripture that it can go either
it
way.
depends. Exactly.
Yeah. And so first I lost hell, then I lost total depravity. Then I think
So in total depravity, does it say that babies go to heaven?
there's it depends on what side of the camp you're on. If you're
Really?
if you're Calvinistic, you would say that they go to hell and that God is just for doing that. Because like that's what we deserve. That's
Man.
they've got the judgment of, whatever. But then I lost the Bible, and then once you lose that,
Yeah, once you lose the Bible, the whole game.
deconstruction's complete. But the point is that at no point was this a fad. At no point was this a brand. At no point was this like, well, I've lost the plot, because there's not a plot. It's a process of, does this still work? If it doesn't, remove it. If it does, or if it can be repurposed even. Because I think that's a lot of mine. A lot of the materials have been reused.
Yes.
It's not just blown up.
Yeah, they're not gone.
Deconstructed and reconstructed.
Reconstructed. That's right. I agree with you. Yeah, and that's where I am. And another thing that just defeats this is it's kind of been documented on this podcast, but like mine and your, specifically me and you, Justin and Clayton, our specific deconstruction, even though it happened along the same lines and in a lot of ways kind of influenced by each other, ended at different places or is currently in, and that's okay, because I think that's how it's supposed to be.
Because even the process of, I think that this has become obvious as I've deconstructed, to realize that the people that are in your church, if you went to church today,
yeah,
98% of them like have vastly different beliefs.
Yes.
A bunch of them have never even considered the things.
Yes.
It's just not on the radar. A bunch of them, maybe they've got who knows what type, like there's an assumption that everybody believes the same thing.
Yeah.
But you realize that we're actually all, even when we're in this thing, we're completely different. Like we're on different highways. We're on completely different journeys.
Yeah.
And
we
it's
don't
okay.
even have the same vehicle. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. It's okay. And so even when we're in the same building, it's okay. But then when you come out,
that's right.
It's still okay.
Even, yeah, exactly. Even when you're like the person in the pew next to you, if you were to question them on some specific theologies, I bet it wouldn't take too long to find some disagreements.
Yeah.
They'd be like, hey, do you think this about, go start from the Garden of Eden, start with the talking snake, and then go to, Abraham or Moses, all this stuff. Like, do you think it was actually this, or do you think maybe it could be a metaphor? Like, that's a pretty gracious place to start.
Yeah.
Is this a metaphor or simile? You know what I mean? Is this a story about something else?
And I think that if you just start that just with yourself,
yes,
and if you could just be honest and not, if you can be honest and not attach too much to not
the outcome of like, I have to say this.
Because if I, like,
even the definition of coercion, right? So like you can't even make a free will. You can't give consent if you're afraid of what'll happen if you say the wrong thing. So like even in our laws as a human in Kansas, if I'm reading you Miranda or whatever, and you're still afraid that if you don't give me the right answer that I'm looking for, there's going to be physical harm to you, that's not consent. That's not a consensual testimony in that case, and it wouldn't be a consensual relationship. So if we have that basic, and I think like you could say the Holy Spirit has written that on human laws, like we all agree to that. If I have you tied to a chair and have a gun to your head and say, tell me who killed Kennedy, you're going to tell me something, because if you don't, I'm going to blow your head off. If I tell you, love me, I created you, you got to love me and do these things. Don't eat shrimp, don't play with your butt, don't let your women talk in church, don't cut your hair, your body's a temple, blah 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 blah, go down the list.
Yeah.
If you don't, your soul is gonna spend eternity in sulfur and hellfire, brother. And
like that you can actually feel, by the way, not only like emotionally and spiritually and whatever, like physically you will feel the flames. Like it will start to torture.
Yes. That's not a consensual relationship.
Sure isn't. It sure isn't. And I mean, in any other scenario, We'll just say this: if any human tries to have a relationship, any type of relationship with you under those terms,
Yeah.
you would you would say that person's a psycho. Like
That's a psychotic person.
run, get
Yeah.
away as fast
People
as you
disown
can.
family members for stuff much less than that. For far less than that. People would disown family members. Imagine you had an aunt that whatever was obviously out of her mind. And whenever you went to her house, she said, "Eat this pudding or I'm gonna smash you in the head with this wooden spoon." You'd stop going to that aunt's house. Like, I don't care how good the pudding is. I'm not gonna be threatened by a wooden spoon. Yeah, now multiply that by your soul, which is cool because we're not the first ones to do this. And we're not even the first ones to question this and have this belief and still call themselves Christian. The early Gnostic church, the first century church, so like the people that were alive when the disciples were alive, the people who were alive when Paul was alive, there was a sect of them that we now call Gnostics, but we think that they wouldn't have used that term for themselves. They would have called themselves Christians. They would have called themselves followers of Christ. They had some pretty wild beliefs, and some of them that I think kind of rings true. Woo, this is going to challenge some people. Warning, I'm about to challenge your theology. But when Jesus said, "I came to change," I didn't come to keep some things. They think that he was actually a different representative than the God of the Old Testament. He came from a different God than the God of the Old Testament. And the creator God of the Old Testament, they actually had a term for called the demiurge. And that was part of like the secret gnosis. That's what gnosis means in Greek, is knowledge. But the secret knowledge that like he only told his beloved disciples, like there's some of these Gnostic gospels are like the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Judas, the Gospel of Mary. Um, is like these beloved disciples that he gave secret knowledge to. And some of that secret knowledge was that he's actually from the God, the actual head God, the actual whatever, the actual source of love. They had a term for him, but the term was even like there wasn't a name for him. It was just the head. It would have been close to like L if you're following that panthology. Uh I come from him, and the God of the Old Testament, the God that condoned sex slavery and condoned murder and genocide, and did create the world. That's actually the false deceiver. That's the one that, and your soul is actually in prison here. And the way to heaven through me, through self-sacrifice, and even through love and radical acceptance and servitude and community living and kind of anti-establishment, anti-authority, personal relationship. That's the way to heaven, is you work out your own salvation with fear and trembling and be a good person. What are the two greatest commandments? Love the Lord with all your heart, soul, and spirit. Love your neighbor as yourself. You do that, you're going to heaven. That's the secret knowledge, which is opposite than this bloodthirsty maniac we've had for 2,000 years before this.
Yeah.
So what we're getting to by questioning these kind of Sunday school fundamentalist beliefs, we're not inventing. This is, even for the last 2,000 years, I would say, is an honest landing point for people who question these things, and for people who are honest when they question it and honest with themselves. Like, am I okay with someone holding a gun to my head and saying, "You have to love me"?
Well, I think this is one of the things. It's interesting once you decide, once you realize that you actually get a choice,
Yeah.
that you get to decide what you actually believe.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it doesn't feel so much like a choice. Maybe it feels more like a recognition. Because
Yeah.
you don't necessarily say I choose to believe this. You just do or you don't.
So that sounds extreme when you say it, until you recognize that you've already been doing that. It's just been baked in. They've already willfully ignored parts of the Bible. They've already cut out this section. Like, we don't believe you can't eat pork anymore. Most Western evangelicals don't believe you can't eat pork anymore. We don't believe it's most, even though I know the number is getting small. Most don't believe it's a sin to eat shellfish. You know what I mean? You're already negotiating the text. You're already shaving your face on the side. You're already engaging in usury, which was a condemnable sin for most of the history of Christianity, even up till the 1500s. If you charge interest to someone, that's a going to hell sin. It's called usury. And now we
Yeah,
don't talk
I mean,
about it.
I mean, honestly, like I think that if we if people really believed the Bible, if they were real true believers in what we
Sure.
said we believed, I just think,
But even that, when you say that, though, that's impossible to do because the Bible says different things.
yeah,
Even
that's
in
yeah,
the New Testament,
that's a good point.
Paul's Christianity is different than Peter's Christianity, which is different than it's all different than what Jesus said. Like
Yeah,
they're all putting their own special sauce on it.
so to say, that's a good point. So to say to believe the Bible or believe what the Bible says,
Yeah, because
that indicates that it says something, and it really does.
or that it says one thing. It doesn't say one thing. It says 66 different books worth of things.
Yeah, and inside those books, multiple
Authors, multiple time periods, multiple different audiences, multiple different circumstances. You're not being held in captivity by the Babylonians.
Yeah.
So the book of Daniel mostly doesn't apply to you, even though it was written after the captivity that was supposed to be taking place during the captivity. It doesn't apply to you in 2025 in Wichita, Kansas.
And I think that so most of, now again, I'm in a completely different space, but most of my life I would have had to find some reason for this story. Like it's
Yeah.
got to be applicable because God gave it to us. And what does he want us to learn? Well, he just wants us to know about that there's a fourth man in the fire, blah, blah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whatever we can try to force into our situation. But at some point you realize, oh, I don't have to believe that.
Yeah.
Like it's okay. I can still be part of this thing.
I can even still call myself a Christian.
Yeah.
And not believe it's okay that Moses killed 2/3 of the children of Israel because they worshiped a different God when he abandoned them.
Or not believe in the resurrection. Or not believe in the virgin birth. Like there's a lot of things that you can not believe in and still be a Christian, I hope.
and even believe that there's a secret, like even say like maybe the Garden of Eden maybe there wasn't one man and one woman, but man, there's a lot to learn from that story if you don't take it literal. If you don't take it dogmatically, there's a lot to get from this.
That's one of my favorite things, is to say that, like, I don't believe the Bible's true. I think it's truer than true.
Yeah.
It's deeper than true. It's more than stories. Like I don't believe that. I don't think that the Garden of Eden is an actual place. I don't think that Adam and Eve were two actual people. What I do think is that there's a story of mankind, however we got here, and it's a story of enlightenment or awakening or
the most basic instinct of man, which is what Adam means, the most basic part of, like, this is your human nature on display from the very primordial.
And even, I mean, even as you try to, and this is the beauty of it, even as you try to interpret it, you realize there's a million different interpretations. And that's because it's truer than true.
That's right.
Because there is limitless. Because it supersedes or it transcends.
That's right.
Truth.
That's when you start to deconstruct the dogmatic walls that other people have put up for you that you didn't even know were there. And you start to build an honest relationship with first yourself and then with what you consider the higher power, what that means, you know, which is maybe one and the same thing. I'm not going to get too far out here, but it's what Socrates said: to know thyself is the best service to God. Like, how do you honor your gods? To know yourself. And what he was getting to is what we kind of just been talking about without even saying it. The Socratic questioning of breaking things down to like, what does that mean? Oh, you're brave. You think brave is the biggest virtue? What is bravery? Tell me what that means. And you find out you can't give a good definition because it's all personal. It's all, no matter what, it's always going to be your own journey. Know yourself. You can never, it's impossible. In one way, it's impossible to put that onto someone else, but in another way, that's the only way to really know someone else is to know that it's different for them too. They have their own journey, to empathize with their journey. What made this, what led to this path where this person is where they're at right now?
Boy, isn't that kind of difficult to realize that everybody else like this, they're not just extras in your story.
Yeah,
Everybody else is they're the main character in their own story.
they are.
They got their own universe going on.
They sure do.
And it's part of my universe.
Yeah.
It's part of the universe. And it's
Yeah.
all
That same spark, this is really cool, man. We're going to start wrapping it up here. But that same spark, that was something that Ram Dass said. And that's something I had on my list, but we can talk about next time. Is Ram Dass, that was one of the channels. He talked about there's different channels of consciousness. And it starts from like the most basic channel is like, I am white male. I am American. I am Christian. And then you get down a little bit deeper and it's like, oh, I'm also a writer and I'm also a lover. You know what I mean? I also love music. I also do this. Like there's some more to me. And then it gets down to like some hoity-toity stuff like I'm a Libra and I'm a Gemini and I am a water sign. But then it gets to a point where I have a soul. Like it's not just this physical body. There's something behind. There's an observer is what the Buddhists called it, or the Atman, or whatever you want to think of it. There's something deeper than just this shell. Like, when I die, Clayton's not here anymore. Clayton is gone, even though this body is still here. There's something more than this. And then to recognize that what's in me is also in you. And like far out, when I'm looking in your eyes, I'm not looking at those baby blues or them baby hazels. I'm looking at a spark that's in there. And then you realize we're a spark that came from the same source. Like, oh, snap, we're really connected. And then when you get to some other channels, like the same thing that's me in me is the same thing that's in you. Like we're just playing a different game.
yeah.
We're just teaching each other different lessons right now. We're all learning from each other and
Where did I hear it? Might have been you, or might have been something you sent me. I don't know, about recognizing that each person that you meet is God experience.
disguise.
Yeah, God experience. What is it?
Ram Dass calls it God in drag. Everyone that you meet is God in drag.
Yeah, like God having an experience or what's the term? Something like basically that it's a version, it's an iteration of God itself every time you encounter somebody.
The lady that cuts you off in traffic, the senator that's on the list, the guy who's in the head of the government that you think is pulling the strings, the person in the part of the jail that you think deserves a firing squad. That's all God teaching you a different lesson. And they're also God going through their own journey. It's you, it's me, it's the universe. It's not the creation, it's it. It's am. It's I am.
And it's everything.
That's right. I've been thinking about that. Well, boy, we just got super hoity-toity there. I've been thinking about that recently, just as like a little, I don't know, it's just been in my mind of how I always thought, and I've even said this on here, and maybe it's like a protection thing that I put up, but I always thought that I was like weird or different. But then I start looking at like the things I have in my garage, and there's a lot of men in this is a new construction neighborhood that I live in. There's a lot of people my age in the neighborhood, a lot of people in their 40s. Everyone just moved here because they're brand new homes. And so when I drive around, I see people's garage doors open. and I look and see what's in their garage is the same shit that's in my garage. I have some fitness equipment in there. I have some tools in there. I have some Christmas decorations in the back. I got some fishing poles on the side. Like you can almost get a snapshot of someone's life or maybe their personality by what's in their garage, like what they have and how it's organized. A lot of people's garage looks like my garage. It's just different. Maybe they don't have the Metallica poster up in the back like I do. Maybe they got a Kelly Clarkson, or maybe they just, whatever. Maybe they have a Democrat flag up in the back or a Brazilian flag or something. But it's kind of like mine, but it's just their own different version.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so much more alike to the point to where I was questioning that narrative that I had of myself of like, oh, I'm weird. I must be weird because I'm always thinking about God. I think everyone's thinking about God. Maybe they're just doing it in
Differently.
their own way. Especially if I say that I think everyone will say has a soul, as in has a divine spark, has something from God in them, which I do believe, and I think it goes a lot deeper than that. Um, I think everybody's on the same journey and they're on their own journey, but like far out. I see that
Yeah.
spark in you. There's a spark in
Yeah.
here too.
And so what if maybe somebody that doesn't realize they're on that journey, that's part of their journey.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe you're not going to come to this go around. I think that there's more than one go around. And like maybe that's okay. You're not coming to this point. Maybe you will. Maybe I'm going to come to the point where you are. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm going to eventually get to where you are. Either way, man, we got a lot of time and it's okay. Like,
Yeah.
sure, you're right. Okay. You got it. If we can focus on being good and tending our own garden, obviously the world would be a better place. Now we're just starting to run out of steam and getting back to the same philosophical BS.
Yeah, well, it's perfect timing because it's about 10 o'clock, about
Yep.
2 hours in.
Yep.
So
What anything coming up? You got anything?
school just started. Nothing
Yeah.
nothing too exciting around here.
Pretty much the same here. Cool. Kids are just getting back in school, so me and Ashley are getting free time to take care of some admin stuff that we've kind of been neglecting, like licenses and insurance, or not licenses, registration things. My brother's here, so we got some entertainment to do, but he's chill. He's low maintenance, like me.
Yeah, just like you.
Yeah, just like me.
All right.
All right, my brother.
We'll see you.
All right, peace.